Hi folks, it's Evo here from Thundermist Lure Company. Welcome to the boatless edition of Thundermist Fishing Tips. Yes, we're boatless folks. I've got the boatless angler with us. He's up front there. I've settled in here quite nicely. We got a beautiful day, a little bit of wind, nice little chop on the water, and yes, we're boatless. Today folks, we're looking for carp, and I am running that pre-tied T-turn carp rig. And as you can see here, it's got the T-turn, and for these carp, it's going to keep me completely tangle free. All I have to do is snap on a sinker and I'm good to go. I've loaded my hook up with corn, and I'm going to start with just straight corn on the hook, but if I find that there are other fish nipping away at my corn and I'm losing it, I did bring some carp bait pockets as well, and I could fill a bait pocket with corn if I want and go that route. So the hook is loaded up. I've got 20-pound braid on here, and then of course the T-turn bait rig comes pre-tied with fluorocarbon line, so we're good to go there. I'm going to keep somewhat loose line. I'm going to see with this wind if I can pay attention or not to the bite, and because sometimes it's really subtle and sometimes they just pick up your bait and they take off, so you got to be very careful, stay close to your fishing rod if you're fishing for carp, because they'll pull your whole rod right in the water. And as a boatless angler, we have to be aware, folks. Ticks, they're everywhere. So I've got high boots on, and I'm gonna just keep checking myself to make sure, there's no ticks, because we want to fish, but we want to fish safely. All right, the boatless angler is in. He's got 2 rods in the water. You're allowed 2 as long as you're not using as long as you're using a vegetable kind of based bait. So we're using corn, so I could use 2 fishing rods if I want with corn, but I'm only going to go with 1. Antonio's got 2. We got a great day. Stay tuned, folks. We're hoping to see some nice carp action today. Okay, so that loose line method, folks, that didn't take long. So, I have no idea how big he is. He gave me a nice bite, and he's peeling. He hit and run. So by having that loose line, you can just watch your line, and the way these carp bite, it's almost like twitch, twitch, twitch. Very, very subtle. And I was just watching my line just kind of twitching, and then I just set the hook. So if you don't have a loose line, you got to keep a real close watch on your rod tip, because again, these bites it's either one or the other when it comes to carp. It's either very subtle or they pick it up and run. This one was subtle. So first bite of the day, Antonio.
Can you help landing it?
We have no landing net, so we'll see. No, I could bring him up here on shore. We got a nice carpet here. We don't have our carp carpet, but we got natural carpet right here on the ground. But he's still green. Oh yeah. Now the other thing you could do, if you're fishing an area like this, you can take a little bit of corn and just throw it to where you're going to be fishing and chum that area. And what it does is, if the carp are swimming around, they'll start to feed on your chum, and then eventually find your bait, hopefully. And that's another good strategy for carp fishing. Oh, and they are strong. Yes, they are. And you got to be very careful when you get them close to shore. There's a lot more pressure on your line, so you have to make sure your drag is set properly, because if they decide to run and your line is so close, you've got a lot of pressure on that line, they'll break you off rather easily, even though you have stronger line. Well, he's not that bad. It's an average size carp. They get huge, okay? They get huge. I don't know how big they are in this spot that we're fishing today, but they do get very, very big. And carp has grown in popularity. They got carp tournaments like big time, especially in Europe. It's huge. Come on, Mr. Carp. It's not even a very big one, and he's just not quite ready yet. decent looking carp. See if I can bring them. You want to land them?
Help you land them? Yeah.
Okay, all right. That'll be a help. It's not huge, but it's a nice looking carp.
Go right here.
Right here? Okay. Ready? Easy, easy. And landed. Nice. Okay, first fish of the day. You know what that needs? Photo op. There you go. That's a
photo?
decent. Yeah, if you don't mind. Here. Oh, here. There you go. So, let's take a look at this carp, folks. Easy, buddy. Decent size. I mean,
Yeah.
I said he's small, but I mean, photo.
Photo here. Gotcha.
Thanks, Antonio. Yeah, I mean, for carp, it's not a big one. It's a average to small, but in anyone's book, that's a big fish, right? Beautiful carp, very healthy, nice looking, not missing any scales. They got the sucker kind of lips where they suck their food off the bottom. Let's get him back in. See you later, Mr. Carp. Yeah, they feed off the bottom. Yes, they're bottom feeders, but most fish are. And they eat natural stuff. They're eating weeds and snails and little bugs and stuff like that. So, and corn. So we got our first fish of the day. And look at, there's weed out there. So that's the other thing. If you don't get a bite within, 15, 20 minutes, two things you should do. Well, you should bring your line in, but the reason you should do that is to check your bait for two reasons. One, to make sure you still have bait on it, and two, to make sure you're not sitting in the weeds and your bait is completely covered in weeds where the fish can't find it. So, general rule of thumb, 15 minutes, pull your line in, check it, maybe add some more bait, toss it back out, or maybe chum. But what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna put some corn on here, and I like to load my hook. I like to load it right up. And the corn is just from our local grocery store. You just buy a can of corn or a frozen bag of corn. That works too. And it's perfect. It works really well for carp. They love corn. And the thing is, with corn, you'll also catch, like if there's catfish around, they'll hit it. Panfish will take corn. So it's a general bait that you could use for many fish. And we have a problem here with gobies. Little extra corn. I'll just chum it out there. And the gobies will pick away at our bait too. And that's why I brought the bait pockets. If I need to. So far, I haven't had to, but if I need to, I'll put a carp bait pocket on. And that way they won't be able to steal any of my bait. So, my line is back in. I moved it on a different angle here, as you can see. And I'm just going to loosen my line up just like that, just to have a little bit of slack in the line. And that way I can, maybe a little more slack right there. Then I can watch it if it just starts to twitch, then I know I've got a bite, and I'll let them work it and then set the hook. So we're off to a great start. That was a nice carp. Average size, gave me a nice fight, gave me a nice bite. Gotta love that. And the carp, and Antonio, you're getting ready for loading up for more carp or what?
Putting on some corn, getting it back out there.
So you checked it and you're missing some corn, is that the deal?
That is the deal.
Okay.
You got it.
Okay. Now that is definitely not a carp. If it is, it's the world's smallest carp. I don't know what it is. It might be a catfish. Like I said, with corn, it's kind of like a universal bait. Many different fish will take it. This might be, it is a catfish. No? Yes. Little bullhead. Hey? Hey, took my corn. Alright, he took my hook too. It's right here in his jaw. Nice and close. Get that out. Come on out of there. There we go. Just a small bullhead, eh? Alright. Back in he goes. So I'm going to have to rebait and get back out there again. So, hey, that's fishing, right? You're fishing for carp, but you don't know what you're going to catch. And it's fun. right? That's what it's all about. All right, let me get reloaded up and get right back out there again. All right, I'm loaded up. And I'm gonna throw just a little bit of handful of corn. I'm gonna chum that area. There we go. And we're gonna get right back out there again. I'm not fishing that far. Relatively close, actually. But it's just a small area here, and if you can see where I'm fishing, I picked this area because it's the mouth. So those carp will come in here, come into this little bay, swing around looking for food. So anytime you see any kind of abnormality, any feeder creek or anything different in the body of water you're fishing, concentrate on that area. It's a higher percentage point. So far it's paid off for me. Carp and a catfish, can't go wrong with that. All right, see if we get ourselves another bite. I took my line out, Antonio, so you can land that fish.
Thanks.
That was a nice little pickup, eh?
Subtle bite, like you said.
Just very subtle, eh? Just little twitch, twitch, twitch. Got any size to him?
I don't know.
You got your drag set? Careful. Ooh. He's still very green, Antonio. Very, very green. It's about the same size as mine. Eh?
Yeah, similar.
Take your time, take your time.
Not huge.
No, that's actually pretty good size.
Good fight.
Still green, still green.
I'm using the sinker slide.
Oh, you got the, okay. So Antonio's rig is a little different than mine. So we got a Thundermist sinker slide that slides along the line, and the carp can pick up the bait without detecting the sinker. So a little bit of a different rig. A little bit bigger maybe. Looks a little longer. I don't know.
Longer.
Swing him around. Maybe a little bit longer.
Got him?
Yeah, he is a little longer. Definitely a little bit longer. Nice little hook set right in the side of the mouth.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Thank you.
Okay. Go ahead, you have the honors. Yeah, he's a little bit bigger. Show the folks back home your carp.
You can do it. Your hands are dirty already.
You want me to release him?
Please.
All right, there's Antonio's carp right there. A little bit bigger than mine, a little longer, I'd say. Okay, a little bit longer. Gave you a nice little bite, or nice little, oh, nice little fight. Okay, let's show this rig.
Sure.
So, you can always tell a T-turn or a Thundermist sinker slide because it's got this camo green color. And he's just snapped on the sinker, and basically you have a swivel there, right? That acts as your stop, right? And the carp can pick up your line and pick up your bait and just run with it.
That's exactly what happened.
So you're gonna bait up, we're gonna try that again.
Get right back out there.
But you know what, folks? This is what boatless angling is all about. Find yourself a shoreline. Where'd my rod go? Right here. Find yourself a shoreline. Nothing high tech here, just using corn as bait. And get yourself a line wet. We've got a beautiful day upon us. Yes, we packed a lunch, and we're going to make a day of it. And if you've never given carp fishing a try, you really got to give it a try. It's really a lot of fun. You can catch a real huge one, but even these smaller ones, they'll give you a real nice fight and a lot of fun. Wherever you're tuning in from, I want to thank you for spending time with the Boatless Angler and I on today's Boatless Show, Thundermist Fishing Tips. And as always, until next time, good luck, good fishing. I think we're going to have a good day.
Pretty good.
Yeah.